Melissa Jefferson Wooden, the reigning world champion. Triple gold in Tokyo. The woman who owns every big race she enters, 3 days ago, Julien Alfred beat her. So she flew to Stockholm and did something nobody does in their first 100 meters of the year. Let's break it down. Melissa Jefferson Wooden is 25 years old. She was born in Georgetown, South Carolina, a small town with a population of around 9,000 people. She grew up at Carvers Bay High School, ran at Coastal Carolina University, and in March 2022, became the first ever individual national champion in her school's history by winning the NCAA indoor 60-meter title with a time of 7.09 seconds. That same year, she won the USA Outdoor 100-meter title and made her professional debut at the World Athletics Championships. 2 years later, at the Paris Olympics, she won bronze in the 100 meters and gold in the 4x100 relay. In the sprint world, bronze at the Olympics is a real result. But Jefferson Wooden had set herself a much higher target for 2025. She put her Paris medals in a box under the TV, closed it, and started writing down new time. Her goals for the year were a 10.6 in the 100 and a 21.9 in the 200. Both of those times would have won medals at the Paris Olympics. She met both of them. Her coach throughout this rise has been Dennis Mitchell, a former elite sprinter, and now one of the most respected coaches in American track. The system he built around Jefferson Wooden had produced a steady, patient climb, not a sudden leap. From NCAA indoor champion to Paris bronze medalist to the most dominant woman in world sprinting took exactly 3 professional seasons, each step built on the one before it. The World Athletics Championships in Tokyo ran from September 13th to 21st, 2025. Jefferson Wooden arrived having gone undefeated in the 100 meters all season, with the 3 fastest 100-meter times in the world that year to her name. In the 100 meters final, she ran 10.61 seconds. That set a new championship record, tied the fastest time ever run at a global championship, and placed her 4th on the all-time list in history, behind only Florence Griffith Joyner, Elaine Thompson-Herah, and Shelly Ann Fraser-Price. She won by 0.15 of a second, the second biggest winning margin in World Championships history. Jamaica's Tina Clayton took silver, and Olympic champion Julien Alfred finished 3rd in 10.84 after pulling her hamstring. 5 days later, Jefferson Wooden lined up in the 200 meters final. She won again 21.68, the fastest time in 2 years at that distance. She beat Amy Hunt of Great Britain and Shericka Jackson of Jamaica to the line. That made her the first American woman ever to win both the 100 and 200 meters at a single World Championships, and only the 4th woman in history to do it at all. The previous names on that list are Silke Gladish, Katrine Krabbe, and Shelly Ann Fraser-Price. 3 days after that, she ran the anchor leg on the USA 4x100 relay team, and they won gold too. Triple gold, 1 championship, 1 athlete. One of the greatest individual performances in the history of the World Championships. Here is where the 2026 story starts getting complicated. Julien Alfred of St. Lucia is the reigning Olympic 100-meter champion. She won gold in Paris in 2024, becoming her nation's first Olympic medalist of any kind. She finished 3rd in Tokyo 2025, but in 2026, she came into the outdoor season as the world leader in the 200 meters. With a 21.86 run back in April from Austin, Texas. On June 4th, at the Golden Gala Pietro Menea in Rome, the two met for the first time this year. The event was the 200 meters. Jefferson Wooden came out of the blocks faster, but Alfred took control in the second half of the race and pulled clear, winning in 21.93 seconds. Jefferson Wooden finished 2nd in 22.17. It was Jefferson Wooden's first outdoor loss since early 2025. But she did not treat it like a disaster. In the days after Rome, she said the defeat gave her useful information about how ready her body actually was, and that she saw it as a sign she was primed for fast running going into the rest of the season. 3 days later, she was on a plane to Sweden. The Bauhaus Galan Diamond League meet at Stockholm Olympic Stadium took place on June 7th. Jefferson Wooden's entry in the women's 100 meters was already being talked about as a marquee event because it would be her first 100 of the entire year. Her last 100 meters race had been 9 months earlier, at the end of the 2025 season, the field was serious. Dina Asher-Smith of Great Britain, a former world champion with a personal best of 10.83, was in the race. Italy's Zainab Dasso, the reigning world indoor 60-meter champion, was entered. Amy Hunt of Great Britain, who had finished second to Jefferson Wooden in the Tokyo 200 final, was on the line too. When the gun went, Jefferson Wooden came off the blocks clean and smooth. She controlled the race from start to finish, crossing the line in 10.84 seconds. Hunt ran the race of her life to finish second in 10.97, breaking 11 seconds for the first time in her career. Patricia van der Weyken of Luxembourg was third in 11.05. Asher-Smith finished sixth in 11.24. The winning margin was striking. Jefferson Wooden finished 13/100ths ahead of the second-place finisher. In a race that long, that kind of gap means one sprinter was in a different category from the rest. The field behind her included a former world champion, a world indoor champion, and a personal best runner. She beat all of them without looking troubled. 10.84 3 days after losing in Rome in her first 100 meters in 9 months is not a number that needs much explanation. Jefferson Wooden called it the fastest 100-meter season opener she has ever run. She said the race was exciting and that she is not fixated on times right now. The sky is the limit, but this season is about competing and enjoying the year on her own terms. Jefferson Wooden is the reigning world champion and the fourth fastest woman in history at 100 meters. That is real. But the rivalry with Julien Alfred is also real, and the gap between them in the 200 this season is not small. Alfred ran 21.86 in April. Jefferson Wooden was second in Rome at 22.17. That is a 0.3 gap on a single race, and Alfred is not standing still. The two will face each other again at the Diamond League meeting in Silesia in August, before both arrive in Budapest for the World Athletics Ultimate Championship in September. In between, the Prefontaine Classic on July 4th at Hayward Field in Eugene will pit Jefferson Wooden directly against Sha'Carri Richardson in the 100 meters, a rivalry that has its own history, with both women having won consecutive editions of that race in recent years. This is not a one-woman story in 2026. But Jefferson Wooden is the defending world champion at both 100 and 200 meters. Every other athlete in the world is racing to close that gap. The World Athletics Ultimate Championship runs September 11th to 13th in Budapest. It is a new kind of global meet, the first of its kind, and Jefferson Wooden has already been named one of its ultimate stars, confirmed as a team captain for the Kids Athletics Challenge, alongside Botswana's Letsile Tebogo. World Athletics President Sebastian Coe specifically called her one of the sport's biggest stars at the announcement. Beyond Budapest, Jefferson Wooden has spoken about pursuing a personal best this summer. Her current 100-meter best is 10.61 from Tokyo. Florence Griffith Joyner's world record is 10.49, a number that has stood since 1988. Jefferson Wooden has said publicly that she believes 10.5 is within her, and that breaking the world record is a real possibility, not a dream.